Welcome to StopFake, the place where we identify fakes and debunk them to set the record straight on disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun with this week's dissections. A multinational Black Sea exercise aggravates the Donbas conflict. The European Court of Human Rights says Russian government not involved in an opposition journalist's murder. And Novichok, Cynaide, it's not Russia. Details ahead. Ukraine is playing with fire, conducting the Sea Breeze 2018 military exercises with NATO countries. Such is Russia's reaction to the joint Ukrainian-American maritime training exercises held for the 18th year in the Black Sea. On July 12, Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova accused the participating countries of trying to destabilize the situation in eastern Ukraine and in the Black Sea region. She said the U.S. was behaving like a hooligan and involving Ukraine in a dangerous game with fire. Designed to enhance interoperability of participating nations and strengthen regional maritime security, this year's Sea Breeze exercises involving 19 countries were held in the Odessa and Mykolaiv regions and in the Black Sea. This year's exercises were devoted to countering Russian aggression in the Black Sea region. During the exercise opening ceremony, Ukraine's naval commander Ihor Voronchenko said that Russia continues to violate international law and is slowly encroaching on Ukraine's maritime economic zone, squeezing Ukraine out of its territorial waters. During a Radio Liberty program, Ukraine's Chief of Staff, Rear Admiral Andriy Tarasov, called the exercises a deterrent for Russia. The presence of NATO ships in the Black Sea demonstrates support for Ukraine and counters the aggressive intentions of the Russian Federation, he said. Russian officials, on one hand, claim that Ukrainian ships are deliberately causing tensions in the Black Sea and Azov regions. On the other hand, they brag about the might of their Black Sea fleet and Ukraine's naval inability to withstand it. According to Ukraine's infrastructure ministry, Russia harasses ships in the Black Sea and interferes with maritime traffic. Just in the last 3 months, Russia has groundlessly detained and searched 140 ships bound for Ukrainian ports through the Kerch Strait. Russia's Justice Ministry says Moscow is not guilty of murdering investigative journalist and human rights activist Anna Politkovskaya, a vocal critic of Russia's war in Chechnya and of Russian President Vladimir Putin, and claims that the European Court of Human Rights concluded that Russia's leadership was not involved in the 2006 murder of Politkovskaya. Moscow also declared that the court found Russia's investigation into the killing to have been competent. The ministry's claims and the stories that stem from those claims are complete fakes. In fact, the European Court of Human Rights heavily criticized Russia's investigation of the Politkovskaya murder. The court ruled that Russia had failed to take adequate investigatory steps to find the person or persons who had commissioned the murder, quote unquote, and violated the European Convention on Human Rights. The court also ordered Moscow to pay 20,000 euros compensation to Politkovskaya's family. The judges at the court ruled that Russian investigators should have explored possibilities that the killing was ordered by, quote, agents from Russia's FSB domestic secret service or of the administration of the Chechen Republic. Politkovskaya was an outspoken critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin's policies, openly wrote about Russia's human rights violations in Chechnya and the repressive policies of the Republic's strongman leader Ramzan Kadyrov. She was killed on Putin's birthday. She repeatedly traveled to war-torn Chechnya, Dagestan, and Ingushetia. In October 2002, Politkovskaya participated in the negotiations with Chechen terrorists who had taken some 700 Moscow theatergoers hostage. 4 years ago, flight MH17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine, killing all 298 people on board. Since the tragedy, pro-Kremlin media and trolls have pulled out all the stops in an effort to undermine the Dutch-led investigation and shift the blame onto Ukraine, despite the wealth of evidence pointing to Moscow's involvement. 4 years later, Russia's disinformation campaign aimed to divert blame from Moscow is going stronger than ever. The main disinformation themes are that Ukrainian pilots shot down the plane, Ukraine destroyed evidence to cover up its responsibility, and the joint investigation team is lying to victimize Russia. The 4th anniversary of the tragedy saw a huge swell in new disinformation cases about MH17, primarily because the joint investigation team announced on 24 May that the plane was shot down by a Russian missile from territory occupied by Russian and Russian-supported proxy forces in eastern Ukraine. As of June 28, our colleagues at the EU Disinformation Review debunked 89 individual disinformation cases about MH17. Russia continues to deny that it had anything to do with the poisoning of former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia with the dangerous nerve agent Novichok. The careless handling of the nerve agent has led to 2 additional innocent Britons being poisoned as well, resulting in a woman's death. Russia may claim its innocence from the highest rafters, but history tells a different story, that Moscow has long used poisons of all kinds to eliminate its enemies. Check out our website for a compelling read about Moscow's long tradition of poisoning its opponents with impunity. You can preserve truth and true reality. If you spot any fakes about Ukraine, send them to us for a truth autopsy. Be vigilant, don't consume fakes. Tips on how to do that are on our website, stopfake.org. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for tuning in this week.